All right, welcome back to Weekend Edition on TV47. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua made history as the first sitting Deputy President to be impeached under the 2010 Constitution. Gachagua's impeachment, approved in a record 1 week by the two houses of Parliament in October this year, has triggered a political backlash in the Mount Kenya region, where the region has fallen out with President Ruto while reshaping the country's political arena. Apollo Kamau reports on a man whose political career lies with the judiciary. Take a look.
Hounded out of office through an impeachment vote that was predetermined and intended to condemn him to political gallows, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment brought the nation to a standstill as former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and President William Ruto allied MPs bayed for his blood, appending 291 signatures in support of the impeachment motion that surpassed the 117 threshold required for the motion to stand.
And for the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya to assert its constitutional authority, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua must be impeached today. I urge members.
Despite the obvious, Gachagua stood put and laughed off the impeachment, choosing instead to face his accusers, saying he will not resign, terming the accusations leveled against him as political witch hunt, and dug in.
This is a man elected by 7.2 million Kenyans. How dare you suggest to him that he can do so without public participation? I have no intention whatsoever to resign from this job. I'll fight to the end.
As his deputy braced himself for the guillotine, President William Ruto stayed aloof and curiously silent as he washed his hands off Gachagua like Pontius Pilate during the crucifixion of Jesus and left him to his foot soldiers.
We handpicked a one-term member of parliament, a former DO from Mathira, and we made him William Ruto's running mate. You know, we tried. We tried to make this man look presidential. We went to a point where even we got him a tailor. We got him a fashion designer so that he can dress him in a manner that befits a president. Because a deputy president is a president. You know, we got him a communication expert way before elections were held, just to train this man on how to communicate. You know, we were a bit worried that when he was facing Mother Karua, so we got him somebody to train him on how to communicate. Yeah? Where we failed after he was elected, we failed to train him on what to say in public and what not to say. So he continued to destroy himself.
According to political pundits, Gachagua was a problem that needed to be fixed. He was becoming a threat to his boss, President William Ruto, with his accusers alleging he funded Gen Z protests, an accusation he denied. He was further accused of whipping up public emotions on what his critics termed as ethnic bigotry for championing the interest of the Mount Kenya region.
And Your Excellency, we thank God as a close of this year, as I conclude, that this country survived an attempted coup on the 25th of June, masterminded by the same person that we hounded out of office for the bad manners, the Honorable Jurenta said. And I have no fear in saying that, Your Excellency. The attempted coup of June 25th, because it was an attempted coup, someone took advantage of our children who were engaging in legitimate protests concerned by issues in their country. Na nafurahi even wale wa kupanga maandamano, niliona juzi kwa runinga kijana wa maandamano kama huyu Gaucho anaitwa Boniface Mwangi, akisema wale watu walienda kupora mbuzi ya Uhuru Kenyatta pale Ruiru ndio walipanga vile bunge itavamiwa, ichomwe, Supreme Court ichomwe, na wakajaribu kupanga ati watu wavamie State House, watoe rais kwa kiti. And those people are not many. It is your former Deputy President, Your Excellency. If he failed that time, he will never succeed in dividing the people of Kenya or bringing chaos in this country.
So why did he have to do that? Maybe it was a condition he received from Raila Odinga that if you are going to cooperate to give some legitimacy to your government, get rid of this guy. Maybe. And Raila is very good at those things. Whenever he gets into a new government in which he lost and he's accepted, it looks as if he starts undermining the number two, because he should be the primary guy. That's one. Two, it's possible that Gachagua misunderstood his role. And although a few people tried to warn him and tell him you are making a mistake, he ignored, because he believed that he knows. And the Dio in him never left.
With odds heavily stacked against him, Gachagua and his team of lawyers marched to the National Assembly to face 11 grounds laid out for his impeachment, where he apologized to MPs for his explosive media address on the previous day, Monday.
If you are so persuaded and you search your conscience without any intimidation or coercion or inducement, and you think is the right thing to do, please go ahead and do so. If you search your conscience and listen to the issues that have been adduced here, and you find that there are no grounds to impeach the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, please make the right decision. But as you do so, many members who are in this House remember what President William Ruto as Deputy President went through. And most of us stood with him. Rigathi Gachagua underwent 4 years of persecution. Others were persecuted. But we took a firm stand because we believed we were doing the right thing.
Honorable Speaker, behind the veneer of humility that you have seen here this evening, behind the veneer of humility that Kenyans saw on national TVs on Sunday, pretending to apologize, is a dark face of violence. Is a dark face, Honorable Speaker, that is a great danger to our nationhood.
Mr. Speaker, I was shocked under the public participation, people saying that Kufa Makanga, Kufa driver, Mr. Speaker. We cannot allow the driver to die because it is an issue. We are witnessing a situation where the Makanga wants to take the steering by force. And what happens after that? The driver is carrying 55 million Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. We cannot allow the driver to die because 55 million Kenyans are going to die with him. But the Makanga, who is just hanging at the door there of the matatu, can go, Mr. Speaker, if he misbehaves, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, the motion before us is frivolous, it is baseless, it is lacking in substance. It is nothing but a shambolic political scheme to hang the truthful man for merely being truthful.
During his defense, Gachagua played a video clip showing President Ruto calling out former DCI boss George Kinoti, who was later forced to resign, saying his attack on NIS boss Nudin Haji was motivated by Ruto for failing to advise the president on the deadly Gen Z protest in June 2024.
I have tremendous respect for the National Assembly and your ability and capacity to make the right decision.
Gachagua further defended himself on claims that he amassed 5.2 billion shillings wealth illegally, terming it as his brother's inheritance, amid claims that he forced the sale of his brother's property.
You have failed. Honorable members, that was President William Ruto as Deputy President, criticizing IG Mutiabai, DCI Kinoti. Rigathi Gachagua has learned his job from his boss, that public officers must be called to order when they fell short of expectation. And I never saw anybody bring William Ruto here for impeachment for criticizing the IG or the DCI.
The ayes 281, so the ayes have it.
Out of the 291 MPs who appended their signatures, 281 MPs voted to impeach Gachagua, 10 changing their mind, mostly from the Mount Kenya region. In total, 44 MPs voted against Gachagua's impeachment. Teto MP Geoffrey Wandeto attempted to withdraw his signature in the last minute, but was told off by the Speaker.
Imagining yourself to be a co-president is dangerous. Anytime. It was Moi who in 1984 told Kibaki at the airport, stop thinking. Because thinking is a presidential prerogative. You wait for your turn. And then here, when he was vice president, he did not have a mind of his own. So stop. I think it was very good instruction, and Kibaki behaved very well thereafter. Because there can never be two presidents. To give the impression that you are co-president is dangerous in itself.
In the Senate, where the die was also cast, drama unfolded after Gachagua was taken ill, moments before he could testify. Senators upholding the impeachment by the National Assembly, 53 senators out of 66, voting to impeach Gachagua, making him the first sitting deputy president to be impeached under the 2010 Constitution.
Hiyo mtego ya Gachagua. Aliweka mtego kule kwa State House. Anawekea baba mtego. Ati hakuna mambo ya handshake. Hakuna mambo ya nusu mkati. Ako wapi sasa Gachagua? Ako wapi? Mjinga sana.
And in the mind of at least the Mount Kenya region, give them an enemy. Give them somebody to hate. They have hated Raila for a very long time. Now they will get an alternative. So I would not have advised the president to impeach Gachagua, because by his very nature, Gachagua is a fairly difficult person. So by 2027, Gachagua was going to leave UND and form a party and run for president and divide the opposition. And that would have made it easy for the president re-election campaign. Now it will be more difficult for the president re-election because an impeached Gachagua cannot run. So he is forced to support someone else now, supporting someone else. Let's just say, for example, that he hoped to support the Kalonzo, for example. He creates a formidable force that it will not be clever to ignore.
Ruto is going to be re-elected. Take this word and take to the bank. He's going to be re-elected come 2027. Ruto has been judged harshly so fast because it's only 2 years in the office. And I believe the other presidents have never been judged like him. People, I think they have a very different perception on him, but he's a person who is trying to make things work by following the manifesto. Most of the presidents have never followed manifestos. It is only Ruto who has taken head on. The issues of housing, it was in Jubilee. It was never implemented by the then President Uhuru Kenyatta. And now, Ruto has decided to implement it. The issue of share and shift is also taking a toll on him because maybe people are trying to resist.
At the current hospital, days after his impeachment, Gachagua blamed President William Ruto for his tribulations, saying his security was withdrawn and survived 2 assassination attempts by the National Intelligence Service.
Security agents entered my room in Kisumu and bagged it. And one of them tried to poison my food. But we detected it and we were able to escape the scheme. I was supposed to be killed through poisoning. On 3rd of September, in Nyeri, another team from the National Intelligence Service came to Nyeri. I tried to poison food that was meant for me and Kikuyu Council of Elders.
As the impeachment wore on in Parliament, Gachagua, through his lawyers led by Paul Muite, was blocking his replacement by the man he denied a chance in 2022, Professor Kithure Kindiki. After back and forth grueling sessions, Gachagua lost despite more than 20 petitions challenging his impeachment. Gachagua's fate on whether he will contest in the ballot now hangs in the courts, which in 2025 are expected to decide whether he was hounded out of office illegally and give him a political lifeline.
We have faith that our judiciary will protect and uphold the Constitution of Kenya and will exercise fairness and give justice to Rigathi Gachagua and his supporters. That is our prayer.
Wangapi wanasema nisumbuka kila pahali nikiambia wananchi ile naendelea.
Gachagua's ouster has not only earned him sympathy in the Mount Kenya region, but made him a messiah, if not the region's kingpin, a region that has proved hostile to President Ruto and his allies, forcing the president to reach out to his predecessor, former President Uhuru Kenyatta. The ground has become so hostile that Ruto's UDA allied MPs and his allies in the executive are being heckled in public spaces in the region. The ordination of Catholic Bishop Peter Kimani as the next Bishop of Embu early November gave Gachagua the perfect opportunity to test his popularity in an event attended by retired President Uhuru Kenyatta. Gachagua and his allies were, however, kept in the periphery during the event. Gachagua has since become a formidable opposition leader, whipping the populous Mount Kenya region against President Ruto for betraying the region, while aligning himself with other opposition leaders led by Kalonzo Musyoka.
Ujitayarishe ukuje uambie watu ya mlima, rais watu ya mlima walikupenda bure. Walikupenda tu, wakakuamini. Wakaambiwa na Uhuru Kenyatta, wewe hapana mtu mzuri, wakasema hapana, wewe ni mzuri. Kweli ama uongo? Wakatoka wakakupigia kura. Wewe ukija uambie kwa nini uliwasaliti na kuwachukia na kuwatesa. Ukimaliza hiyo, rais uambie hawa watu walikupenda ya mlima na Kenya ingine, wakikuambia Kenya haiendi mzuri, mbona unatukana hao, unawaambia hao wako na pepo?
Analysts have predicted Ruto's handshake with Uhuru will have no impact despite the nomination of 3 of Uhuru's allies into the cabinet, former Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe and former Governors Lee Kenyanjui and William Kabogo.
We shall work day and night to restore the glory of Meru. Na hata kama wanatudharau, wanafikiria hakuna pahali tunaweza kuenda, sababu kitendawili wamechukua, Uhuru sasa ndiye huyo wameko naye. Let me tell you, the future that I can see for this country ni kwamba heshima ndio itadetermine uhusiano wa sisi wa kwenda mbele.
Our people are not happy. They are saying even if no minister was appointed, even an ambassador, how come even no ambassador has been appointed in this group? We are saying the Meru people are tired from being taken for granted. Meru people don't want to be political nomads anymore.
People are unhappy with Ruto, mainly because of his policies, which appear to be underdeveloping the country, which appear to, some people claim, to victimize certain sections. And the mountain feels particularly victimized, and therefore unhappy, because the policies that have been adopted have been making them poorer instead of richer. So within those 2 years, the tide changed. And that is not going to be changed by appointing a few politicians.
Since his impeachment in October, it has not been a walk in the park for the former DP after goons attacked him during a burial in Limuru in November, hurling chairs and stones at his entourage, forced to flee for their safety.
Lakini ile kitu tumeona ni majaribio kwa maisha ya aliyekuwa naibu wa rais Rigathi Gachagua. Na venye tumeona hao wakora walikuwa wana target kwenye Rigathi Gachagua meketi, ile gari Rigathi Gachagua alikuwa anaenda ndani yake, walikuwa wanamtarget yeye mwenyewe. Na hao sio wananchi wa hapa.
In December 2024 in Shamata, Nyandarua County, a tear gas canister was hurled at the podium where he was seated, forcing his security to rescue him to safety.
Hata mkiharibu mikutano, hata mkituma vijana wakuja na mapanga, hata mkikuja na tear gas, hii watu yote walitoka kwa UDA.
In late December, Gachagua once again threw a spanner in the works in the middle of public outrage over abductions, revealing that a secret police unit is behind the abductions.
There is a unit of police officers that are not under the command of the Inspector General of Police that are carrying out these abductions and killings. There is a building in Nairobi, the 21st floor, in the city center, where this unit is operating from. Led by a certain Mr. Abel, will be giving a second name in the next 1 week or so. It's a unit of officers drawn from across security agencies that are not under the command of the Inspector General of Police. Abel is a cousin to a very senior government official in this administration.
The former DO, known to be a sharpshooter, abrasive and confrontational, is banking on the judiciary to save his political career. But whether he is cleared or not, he remains a key determinant in the Mount Kenya politics and could even become a kingmaker on whoever he backs in 2027. Apul Kamau, TV 47.